Edray1416, aka Borg Productions. I've talked about this user a few times before, but it's been a while since I last actually made a video on him. But he's done something that's just, I feel like I have to respond to because it's just so wrong. He made a video recently called How America Was Ruined by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in which he argues that FDR is responsible for ruining America because of socialism. Let's ignore the fact that Edray has no clue what socialism actually means, like, at all. Because if he did, he wouldn't be describing FDR as a socialist, like, at all. Look at what people like Karl Marx actually wanted, or what socialist countries have implemented throughout history, and then look at what Franklin D. Roosevelt did. They're not really all that similar. Now, let's start off by talking about what caused the Great Depression. Now, Edray, even in the video, admits it was a market crash that caused the Great Depression. Market crashes are the result of capitalism. Because in socialist countries, there is no market crash because there is no market. Second off, the other thing that caused the Great Depression were a lot of banks closing down, causing a lot of people to lose a lot of money, or at least this was one of the major factors. This is because, at the time, there was no separation between commercial and investment banking, meaning banks were allowed to invest on whatever they wanted, even if there wasn't going to be a return. This was later solved in the bank regulation known as Glass-Steagall, which was repealed in 1999. Now, I'm not going to talk about things like FDR removing the gold standard, which was an idiotic concept, honestly. And don't get me wrong, while I don't support the idea of you have to give all your gold to the government, I do think that people who believe in the gold standard are genuinely wrong. But that's a video for another day. And I very much agree with Edray's point about the internment camps. However, I want to bring up this last fact. In Edray's video, he mentions that FDR caused a huge national debt, which was accurate, and this was later paid back by Josine D. Eisenhower, which again is very accurate. However, Edray also complains about Franklin D. Roosevelt's administration having high taxes, which again is accurate. FDR's highest tax rate when he died, in 1944 was 94%. Now that is a lot, and I personally do think that's a little too high. However, according to federaltaxrates.insidegov.com, in 1960, when Josine D. Eisenhower left office, his top tax rate was 91%. It also stayed that way throughout every year he was president after 1954. Under Roosevelt, 1943, the year before he died, the top tax rate was 88%. And before that, it was even lower. So for a majority of Franklin D. Roosevelt's presidency, the President Edray seems to hate, the top tax rate was actually a little lower than the President Edray also praised in that video. But anyway, that's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.